Welcome to the Rob Liefeld Show featuring Robservations. I bring over 40 years experience in the world of comic books and entertainment. Across 5 decades, I offer insights and opinions on the business and the art of comic books and pop culture. If it's happening in games, in streaming, in movies, in comic books, we are covering it and discussing it right here. Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Rob Liefeld Show featuring Robservations. I am so glad that we can pull up a chair, share some space, hang out together, talk comic books, talk pop culture, and most definitely talk about the biggest comic book and pop culture show in North America, New York Comic Con. We are going to wrap up all of the crazy activities, developments, insane interactions that I was fortunate to have while I was in New York City for New York Comic Con just 1 week ago. All of the festivities had already started by this time last week. Talking to retailers, meeting with you guys on the showroom floor, meeting all of the amazing, incredible talents, and you, the people who are enthusiasts, who are tremendous supporters. I met so many of you. It was so great. You know what? I'm going to get to a list soon that I put together of all of the people that I met just from my live streams that I was able to interact with and able to meet, because we were able to really have a good time meeting with. I made a list. Hang on, I'm gonna get it, pull it up for when I can I can talk more clearly about it, because boy, did we have a good time. We were just so excited to meet with everybody. So I am going to go down that list, share all of your wonderful names. There was so many of you. There was really so many of you. Today, we're going to get to all of that stuff, but we got to kick off the show by honoring a true legend who passed away just in the last 24 hours. The spectacularly talented and a generous human being. His generosity, his kindness was only matched by the incredibly outsized talent of one Mr. Drew Struzan. You probably have a Drew Struzan piece in your collection, a print, not an original, definitely not an original, but maybe you have the coffee table book, maybe you have one of his posters that he did, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Goonies, the list goes on and on and on. Maybe some of you did what I did last night and did a deep dive and gently kind of went about looking into your Drew Struzan books, like the one I'm able to share with you here. Yes, this is my many years old coffee table book, and if you can get one of these, and I know there's all manner of different editions, but obviously the Back to the Future stuff, that's just what I'm naturally opening to right now. The Back to the Future stuff. I mean, you guys, whether it was Harry Potter, Blade Runner, I can't possibly list them all. Hook. Drew was, his posters really defined a generation. And I was able to meet him and interact with him through one very special occasion, which involved the fact that he did a cover for a comic book named Blue, and in that comic book, he used my sister-in-law, Leanna Joy's sister, to my kids, Aunt Leanna. In 1999, he used Leanna as his as the model, because if you saw my some of the costumes that I had, walking the showroom floors. Maybe it was Badrock, maybe it was Kodiak. If you walk through or have heard of the legend of the Youngblood battle cruiser, that was put together by a gentleman named Greg Aronowitz. Greg Aronowitz was a special effects guy who had worked on the original Jurassic Park, all manner of different shows and productions, and he introduced himself to me. I got to know him personally. He came to Extreme Studios. I met him. He put forth his vision for the Bad Rock costume that you saw walking around in the 90s. He put forth his vision for the Kodiak, one of the New Men costume. And then the battleship, the battle cruiser. I went all in on everything with Greg. And Greg was a brilliant artist in his own right. His art was just in costuming, special effects, makeup, prosthetics. Really a boy wonder, a genius. And we did years and years of work together. He had a comic book that he wanted to make, and it was called Blue. And he was a friend, had met my sister-in-law through all of our dealings. And Drew Struzan, this is the cover of Blue #1. That is my sister-in-law, Leanna. This was, I believe, published by Image Comics. Here are two of the other cover attempts. I'm showing the covers, the rough cover sketches. You can see, obviously, that great likeness right there. But this is printed comic. It's out there. If you go on eBay, good luck finding it. But because of this, Drew came to the San Diego Comic-Con that year. They had some prints. They were in their promotional phase of getting the word out on Blue. And Drew could not have been the kindest, most generous, most down-to-earth. And I mean, he is in the throes of his peak period at the time. Yes, he's going to start doing the Harry Potter stuff, but all of the stuff that we've loved him for, the Back to the Future, the First Blood, the Blade Runner, the Star Wars, that's already happened. And we're already completely just enamored by his, Police Academy. Go through that book. There's a reason that book is so rich and thick. It's because he did so much work. Drew Struzan, you were a generous and ridiculously kind and warm, brilliant talent. And I'm just proud to know you, to have met you, to have spent time with you, to watch you do multiple illustrations, renditions, paintings of a family member that saw print. And again, that was the Greg Aronowitz connection. So Drew, whether it was his ability to draw from life and the incredible likenesses, it went so much. He had such an incredible design and composition sense. And then you get down to the technique of his craft and all of the different tools that he utilized. The guy really was one of a kind, next level. Yes, he had his influences, Amsel and so many others. But now he has become the influence. He is, I believe, one of the most important illustrators of my lifetime. More than just the movie poster guy, just an incredible illustrator. Just wanted to give him a shout out and tell you guys how I met him, knew him, and very sad to hear of his passing. All our best wishes and understanding go out to his family at this time. And just thank you, Drew, for a lifetime of incredible work and sharing your talents with us. So our glasses raised to Drew. Kudos to you. Thank you. New York Comic Con. We are wrapping it up today. It's chock full. I'm going to tell you that the surprise of the show for me, going back to me looking through the aisles of the original art, and this is at the opening bell. This is right after the story that I told in the last episode about my buying Michael Golden and Art Adams art from an international private collector. Right after this, a very kind gentleman approached me. He was standing to the side and he said, "Rob, I want to ask you a question." He says, "I want to ask if you would be interested in inking John Byrne." He says, "I know what a giant John Byrne fan that you are. I listen to the podcast. I follow you on social media. I know what a huge John Byrne fan you are. I have a John Byrne illustration uninked of Angel that I would like to have you ink." And I'm like, "Okay, wait, slow down. What's going on here?" But immediately, what I'm processing is, wow, how fortunate am I that because I have broadcast my love of John Byrne and shared it with all of you, my passion and my enthusiasm, that it reached someone who had a piece of John Byrne's and said, "Hey, I want to go to Rob and combine with Rob and see if Rob will do this." I haven't laid eyes on it at this point in the conversation, which is like maybe before noon on Thursday at the opening bell of the show. but I said, hey, swing by, come, let me see the piece. I'm very excited to look it over, and hopefully we can jam and make something happen. But he's like, yeah, it's an X-Men jam. I had John Byrne basically lay it out and do breakdowns and you'll see this because as this episode is loading today, I am going to share with you on my Instagram account, Rob Liefeld, at Rob Liefeld on Instagram, blue check, signifying that is really me. Getting that plug in early because I want you to go check it out. I've got the pencils, the breakdowns. They're just breakdowns, and that's one thing that concerned me. Was there enough of John Byrne there that I could make it look like John Byrne, and have fun by making it recognizable? It just depended on the level of the breakdowns, and I hadn't seen it yet. But on Instagram, I'm going to show you because obviously I did take it. I took the leap. I went full bore and with the biggest smile on my face in my hotel room. And my wife was like, I'll happily ink you doing this. Joy, the beautiful Joy Liefeld, love of my life. She is always up. She always she wants to video me drawing everything. She thinks it's fun. She loves to kind of stand over the shoulder, off to the side, and then she loves the editing process and putting it together, picking the songs. That is always Joy. I should give her dedicated credits. Sometimes in the rush to post, I look past that, but Joy was like, hey, I can't wait to do this. This one was a little more difficult to ink because by the time the guy reaches my table later in the day, he takes it out of a tube. It's a large illustration board. I'm going to guess like it's 22, 28 inches, at least 30 inches long. I mean, I know I'm looking at 3 feet here, but it's at least 2.5 feet in length, and it's rolled up, so it's got kind of a natural bend like a scroll, but it's on some pretty good Bristol board. And he shows me that Joe Rubenstein, who inked John Byrne on Captain America, famously paired with him on Captain America, which I've done a dedicated podcast. Go back into the archives. I think it was a second year, kind of the greatest run you've never heard of, because it was only one single year. John Byrne, Joe Rubenstein, they're combined again. Joe was also working off of breakdowns. But the idea that someone would think of me like, hey, I want to see Liefeld combine and see what he would like. I have never inked anything John Byrne. I've always played with the fact or the opportunity to print out one of his pages from his 30 issues that he illustrated. But I just haven't. I've been so busy. I haven't ever gotten around to doing it. I think it's called X-Men Elsewhere. I have all the volumes. You would think I would have recalled the name faster, but I've always toyed with the fact of inking, and I own a Superman penciled page, a really beautiful one, but I just have not gotten around to trying to bring myself to ink it. So John Byrne, Angel. I love Angel. I love John Byrne's Angel. Maybe the only other character of the original X-Men that I would want to ink over more than Angel would be Beast, and then of course Wolverine would be just the best. I saw it. There was enough there. There was enough of the face and the head, and definitely the gesture was really strong, and the arms. No light sources whatsoever, and virtually very little detail. You'll see if you go on my Instagram at Rob Liefeld, Instagram, blue check. It signifies it's really me. I'm going to be running a process video of the pencils to the finished inks. After I was done, he gave it to Art Adams. Art Adams inked over a Colossus that started with breakdowns, and then there's another kind of a John Byrne ish influence penciler that finished kind of the bottom row of the characters. But at the top, right there, you'll see it is pure Byrne breakdowns. Nobody else touched that. So you'll see me inking over John Byrne. It was such an opportunity, such a great opportunity. I couldn't pass it up. I had a great time doing it. Look for that video when it drops on Instagram, which should be running the same day. I believe it's Thursday, maybe October 16th, at the same time that this episode drops. Go check my account. Check it out. Here's, again, I can't underscore. By me, you're going to say it's manifesting. Well, if I don't share it for sure, someone doesn't pick me out of a crowd to do it because of my passion and my express passion. And that is kind of, random content that I have brought to bear that someone then immediately wanted to engage me with and put a Liefeld ink job on John Byrne. Again, I had to kind of, now after inking it, would I have maybe approached the stomach muscles differently? I probably would have. That's the one part of the page, but I'm overall really, really happy with it. I really dig it. I think if I had the opportunity to ink John Byrne's pencils, because of the massive respect I have for him and the capabilities that I have, it would be a great combo. Don't believe that's going to happen. We are very well established here on the show that John has always had a bone up his ass about me, specifically among the image guys. He takes shots at Todd. He's taken shots at Jim Lee. He reserves his most personal, ugly remarks for me, even though we have, since we've been in the business, just expressed our incredible enthusiasm for him, and it has never stopped me from being enthusiastic about his work. And if you want, well, like, what's that about, Rob? Let's just be really, like, just as clear as we possibly can. John Byrne was very upset that that he alone, I don't think he really cared about anybody else, but he was displaced by the popularity of myself, Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee. We represented the new draft class, much the same when Kevin Garnett, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant all entered into the league, and you could tell that was, that the end game was coming for Charles Barkley and for Karl Malone and the Michael Jordan era. That there was a new wave, and several years in, 5 years into Kobe's career, the new Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, it's never ending. There's always people coming. You have to really invest in providing your own relevancy. And John had already been so popular for about 15 years. He wasn't long in the tooth, but the world was ready for new energy. When I would present the people that I was so excited about to the guys at the Extreme Studios, the 60 different artists that worked with us, many would say, I don't get what you see in these guys, fill in the blank. John was one of them. Every generation has their own set of guys. John was our guy. He did not like that we replaced him or supplanted his supposed dominant, superior, or whatever. It's just that simple. It really boils down to envy. We are each, Todd, myself, Jim, accomplished storytellers and creators that have had our own moments that we are very proud of. We know kind of what we're capable of and how we connected with the audience, but that is kind of the source of the John Byrne resentment. I'm sure once it's out there, someone will run to John Byrne's page and there will be multiple posts just absolutely pouring cold water on what I did. But again, when you see the beginnings, the pencil, the breakdowns that I started from, I think you'll realize I was very limited in what I could work with, but I'm really pleased with the results. So boom, that's John Byrne. That doesn't happen if I don't attend New York Comic Con, if I don't put out my passion of John Byrne, random content, made that connection, made that happen. Super excited. Next up, I get a call. On Friday at my table. They say, hey, Rob, it's Jim Steranko. I'm on the phone with Jim Steranko, the incredible Jim Steranko. He of the legendary Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. body of work. He of his legendary Captain America body of work. I did a dedicated episode on the Raiders of the Lost Ark paintings that he was hired to do by George Lucas and by Steven Spielberg. I mean, when you listen to that episode, it's a great episode. I go in depth into all the behind the scenes. I think that may be a year 2 or a year 3 podcast, but it's Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, somewhere in the title, I believe. If that helps, if you go back into the Spotify, the Apple, iHeartRadio, wherever you live, and you are able to access it, it is way before we went to video on Spotify or video on our YouTube platform. So go back, give that a deep dive, because those paintings that Jim Steranko did were so ridiculously impactful. They wanted more. Jim made a personal decision, as you'll see, as you'll hear in that episode, how to move forward with them, and it did not end up with him producing any more work, but the work he did is legendary. It's been shared through sci-fi magazines since the early 80s, after Raiders of the Lost Ark hit hard, and those images have really never gone away, and they keep being reshared, especially anytime something Indiana Jones or Raiders of the Lost Ark comes back, into focus. So Jim Steranko, just really one of the last of the greats. And you guys, this all led up to Jim. He just wanted to make sure that we could meet on Saturday. Jim's going to meet with a lot of people. Jim's going to move and shake with other movers and shakers. and he should, because we all love him and we all revere him. Jim's body of work in comic books is brief. It's not an extended stint, but it's impactful. He did very memorable covers on Hulk, on X-Men, issues of X-Men, issues of Captain America. The Nick Fury stuff and the Captain America stuff is probably the most famous, the most popular of the work that he did. But Jim just didn't hang around a long time, and that doesn't mean he wasn't disciplined. So Jim tells me in no certain terms, and it's on a shuttle that we were both on from our hotel to get to the Dallas Fantasy Fair, probably 1995. Jim, it's the first time I had physically met him. We were both guests of the show. And he said, "Rob Liefeld, huge fan." And then he told me, "Hey, Rob, what I love about you the most is that you're a showman. You're a showman like me." And I immediately knew what he was saying, because what I believe that means is you really like to talk up the your passion for comic books, which I do, and you really want to and desire, to promote comics beyond just doing interviews with magazines. You like to get up on stage. You like to talk about it. You like to be on video. The Levi's commercial had been out for years. So I think that's where I connected. Jim was, as history will show, he published his own magazine, his own film magazine. So he dabbled beyond comic books, storyboards, production art, stuff like he did for the Indiana Jones franchise. Comics could not contain Jim Steranko, basically, but the mark that he left in a very brief time, similar to what I've spoken of in regards to Art Adams, very small window of maximum impact that has created this incredible legacy, where everyone just absolutely adores and looks up to. And let me tell you something. He looks like he's in great shape. I hope he's with us for the rest of my adult life. I hope that he continues to be strong and be among us. So when he came to my table and we had our chat and our talk, and of course it ended up with a bunch of great photos. I always love taking photos with Jim. He's dapper. He's super accomplished and always so friendly and energetic. I really, in the realization that Neil Adams is gone, and that George Perez is gone, Peter David is gone, so many of the greats have left us. And from that age, John Romita Sr. is gone. John Buscema is gone. The greats of an age are disappearing. They are leaving us. And after like Jim Steranko, you go, well, I guess it's Barry Windsor Smith, the guys who were in the late 60s, very early 70s, making their mark. And Jim is one of those guys. He's one of the greats, and we need to share with him how much we appreciate him and tell him how much we love his work. And I did both of those things and so much more. Jim knows I have tremendous affection for him. I have tremendous, love, affection, and he's an extremely important figure in our business. The work he did, maximum impact for a very limited window. And so it was great to see Jim Steranko, if you get a chance to see him, if you can interact with him online, because he is alive and well on social media. Say hey, say thank you, acknowledge his greatness and what he contributed. It's so fun to see him, as spry as he is, moving, bouncing around. Of course, Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, all of them, Stanley, yes, of course. I'm just really looking into into such a brief window of the last 2.5 years of some of the absolute greats that have left us. But as we stretch back and go back 10, 20, 30 years, especially Jack Kirby, with how ridiculously young he was. An entire age is leaving us. Jim Steranko is one of the few giants of that age who is still around. So really happy to see him. Really happy to hang out with him and spend time up close and personal with him at my table. So what I had been what was leading up to one of the evening's most exciting events was a party and then a dinner thrown by one Gary V. Now you've got to know Gary Vaynerchuk, okay? He is all over social media. He is an inspirational speaker. Maybe you've read one of his books. Maybe you have followed some of his incredible investments. Maybe he's just had success pretty much everywhere he goes, in the wine industry, in the card industry, in the motivational industry. I've been following Gary for several years. My sons read his books, followed him. I have been inspired by many of the different expressions of wisdom that he has shared. If there is something going on in the world, especially in the rising, in basically the ever changing and rapidly kind of evolving world of technology and social media, he has opinions. He has, and he'll share them with you. He shares them. Follow him on Instagram, Gary V, VE, on Instagram. And what's put him front and center, especially on a weekend such as this, is the very accomplished, very successful, very inspirational Gary V is in the comic book and the collectible market through cards and comic books. You may have seen his booth. He had a big booth. He had a big presence from retail night all the way through the show. He's got his V Friends. I've got my foil packs right here. He's got his V Friends packs that you were able to get. He's got his mini comics. Okay. And he's got, Motivational Monster. He's got all these different characters. They're really fun. I am really excited watching him. He is attempting to building this collectible card game experience that he would describe to you as somewhere between Pokemon and Sesame Street. He's not scared to go young, much younger than I think most of the public is most of the big publishers are willing to go at this point. He is full speed ahead. Here are some of the V family. The branding at this time is V family, Gary V family. He had a mixer, and then it came down to a very much more concise, much more limited number of people for a private dinner, which had very singular themes and questions and discussions that he was our moderator, and he wanted to talk about the world of comic book, social media, technology. I won't tell you everyone that was there. That's not my my place. It wasn't my event, but we engaged for 3.5 hours. My wife was my plus one. She's like, I was the only plus one. I'm like, honey, if you weren't cleared, you didn't get to come in. But the rules of the engagement were very clear in regards to you do not have side. We were not allowed to have side conversations. And he even said, even for you married couples, if there's a side conversation, I don't mind sharing this because I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Good parameters were set at the very beginning. If you have side conversations that go away from the one conversation, you'll be asked to leave. If you doubt me, it's happened before. Don't be those people. That goes for everybody, he said. J. Scott Campbell, Jim Rugg are some of the notables that were also in attendance. And we talked about comics, collectibles, distribution. And what excites me the most is the leadership and the leadership style that Gary V is bringing to the comic book and the collectible market, given that the incredible success that Gary has had in every other market that he touches, whether it's crypto, whether it's blockchain. Gary has something to say. And Gary has an opinion, has an approach, has a direction, but he wanted to hear it from other people in regards to their opinions and kind of how they see the current marketplace. And those were shared across a 3.5 hour incredible dinner. I mean, I cannot believe the food that we were served. This is at a restaurant that Gary owned, and so it was very exciting to be that intellectually engaged for an evening. It was exactly what I had hoped it was going to be. I am currently doing no work with or for Gary V, but I'm rooting for him. I believe that what he is doing and the success that he has already had, and he had tremendous success, uh, with his V friends, uh, and sharing them. Notorious ninja, motivational monster. Okay, Gary is coming at it. Gary is making it happen. It's fun it is great to have sat at the table with the notables. The notables. I'll mention Jay Scott. I'll mention Jim Rugg. I won't go beyond that. There were giant retail outlets had representation there. This was really rich and nuanced, in many ways very bold and candid expressions of how each of us see where the market is at, where it's been, because you can learn from the past, you can learn from history, and there were definitely some lessons shared, and what we hope uh, going forward, and what we're all planning on doing to affect the further evolution. Gary V in our business is a good thing. Super honored, Gary. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting myself and Joy, and we were just so thrilled to participate. It's going to be fun to watch what happens. He is a big time mover and shaker, and the leadership that I have seen from him across the board, across the many years that I've been following him on social media, is I think the comic book industry is definitely going to benefit from it. This guy didn't get to where he got to achieve all the different success across all the different platforms in all the different businesses that he's been in. Uh, he didn't get there by not being one of the most smartest guys in every room that he enters. He's ridiculously accomplished. And if you're like, Rob, you're just going out of your way to endorse it, I'm excited. He said he was going to do something. I just physically showed you that something is here. That something is being spread. That something is being, whether it's in the stores yet, it was available to show. He's got his live streams. He's doing his crazy businesses. It's a lot of fun. I am so thrilled that we were able to share and meet and participate. And it'll be fun to watch what comes of it, because I definitely think some stuff that was discussed in that room will evolve and expand into the business as we know it right now. Comic books are doing well. They're doing well. They are on a bit of an upswing. And this is a marketplace that will openly acknowledge that Marvel is at its weakest, lowest that it's been in maybe 3 decades or longer. I'll go longer. And yet, it's like Ohtani from the Dodgers. He has not had a great playoff series. He has not had a great playoffs. Uh, as we record this, they have gone 2 up on the Brewers, heading home for Game 3, Dodger Stadium. They are 6 wins away from winning another World Series, 2 wins away from going to the World Series. They haven't gotten there yet. Nothing is assured. I'm sure any fans from Milwaukee are like, hey, you haven't seen our best. Certainly when the Phillies got to LA with the Dodgers up 2 games, those games were a dogfight. I mean, these are incredibly talented clubs, but Ohtani, the breakout superstar in the baseball world of the last 5 years, certainly, I mean, completely on the upswing the entire time with the Angels. But once it went to the World Games and world competition, and Ohtani got bigger on the global stage and rallied for the victory, and then left the Angels, signed with the Dodgers, he has become one of the biggest, if not the biggest, athlete in the world. And the Dodgers are an incredibly well-run organization. But what I would say is the Dodgers are winning games without their highest paid player, their biggest superstar, contributing in the ways in the hitting department. He hasn't pitched a game yet with the Brewers, but he has not he just hasn't had a great playoffs. But the Dodgers are still surging. That's the comic book world. Make the Dodgers into Ohtani. Certainly they can, have their impact at any moment. They can land. They can shift the conversation with one great outing. But the business is doing well, even while they are struggling to generate the level of excitement that people normally associate with Marvel Comics. And that's really what it's about. Marvel Comics was a mover, a shaker, a leader. And lately, I feel like they're just holding everything together with glue and tape and maybe some bubble gum, because it's certainly not a period of X-Men that I revere. It's way down the line. Certainly not fill in the blank Cap. Avengers, Hulk, Fantastic Four. None of these books are in peak form. None of them are even approaching anything resembling peak form. There was a period when Jason Aaron and J. Michael Straczynski both worked with Olivier Coipel. He did stints with both of them. During those periods, like, wow, are these guys going to challenge Walt Simonson in his incredible 43 episode issue run of Thor? In my mind, they did not, but they got close. Getting close is worth paying attention to. Getting close, you're going to pull up a front chair. You're going to pull up and watch and observe as close as you possibly can. People make a lot of stuff about different Fantastic Four runs. None of them. They're all limp, in my opinion, outside of what John Byrne did in his 60 plus issues that we talked about on the Algo episode. John Byrne was the last great Fantastic Four runs. There have been some successful at bats and some guys who rounded the bases, but nobody that took home anything resembling the extended greatness that John Byrne put forth in that book. I mean, year after year after year, he just banger after banger after banger. The guy just delivered. Michael Ringo and Mark Waid would be, for me, the closest that the book has come to being that good, that intriguing. I think Byrne is a cut above, but that's as close as the book has gotten, and that would take you back to maybe 2004, 2003, 2004. So it's been a while for me. We had the very best of the Avengers, whether it was coming off of the Kree-Skrull War with John Buscema and Neil Adams, and then going to an extended period of John Byrne and George Perez, two of the greats, who for my generation went back and forth on 5+ years before a vast, the Avengers went into a vast kind of wandering in the 80s. Just whether it was Greg LaRocque, Al Milgrom, Bob Hall, and much older John Buscema, Steve Epting, the Avengers suddenly weren't the draw that they were from the 70s and 80s, and that's just a fact. And I've covered it here that the X-Men became the book to be on because of the royalties, the money, the profile, the popularity, in much the same way, just so you know. And we'll get into this in another show. If you talk around, you talk to the agents, the reps, the talent, that's what Batman is now. The Batman, if you're on Batman, your art is going to sell higher. You can maybe charge more to sign those books. The signature fees are driving the business in a way that would stagger you if you got everyone to actually go on record, literally. So much of the talent now would rather be on a Batman book. And I just saw there's another Batman book, a tie-in book that's launching for November. They are never not going to be launching multiple Batman books in the same way that in the heyday, the most popular period of the X-Men were launching X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, X-Factor, Wolverine, Excalibur, rebooting New Mutants with, X-Force, Generation X, Wolverine, if I already said that, solo series, getting the X-Men to be the lead story in Marvel Comics Presents. It was a full-on exploitation of their most important, most popular, most celebrated brand. And again, you have to think royalties, resale of artwork, and now you didn't think it back then, but now most definitely signatures, popularity at conventions, getting convention fees, all this stuff is part. I have friends who obviously throw conventions. I have people who book the people at the other conventions. As many of you know, I don't do more than 2, generally 1 convention a year. I hadn't done New York Comic Con in 2 years, but all of these other artists, you cannot blame them for not biting on the significant fees and the significant compensation that they're offered to go to 6, 8, 10 conventions a year. So in case you're wondering, why some of your favorites are appearing as much as they are, the money behind the scenes for these people has become really significant, and it is the most significant when you are on the most high-profile projects. And where comics is right now, Batman has become what the X-Men was from 1975 to 1995. For a 20-year stretch, X-Men was the franchise. Batman has that moniker, is that domain for talent now. So just you saw it up close and personal, or you couldn't help but see it in a venue like New York Comic Con. play out more obviously. But that is the that is the premier franchise, which is part of the reason why comic stores are doing so well, because Batman is doing so well. All things Batman, we've covered it. The new Blind Bag series with Jorge Jimenez, Matt Fraction, the Absolute series. What was the promise that Hush 2 held when it was promoted and incoming back in the spring. Then you've got the Deadpool Batman stuff, and then you've got this more Batman spinoff. So those are really, let's be honest, paying a lot of bills for retailers, exciting a lot of fans, driving a lot of consumer interest and curiosity. Then there's great books, and this is all leading me, incredible amount of great books coming out from Image Comics, which I am at 1,000% full time. I forgot, I meant to mention it earlier, but I just want to thank all of you. The Youngblood orders came in and they're phenomenal, and I can't wait to share them with you. I can't wait to have this book land on November 5th. All of your different editions, the Scotty Young, the Ryan Stegman, the Ryan Otley, the Kyle Nagu, the Eric Gist, the Mark Spears. Did I say Scotty Young? Did I leave out anybody? Gosh, I hope I didn't. My A covers. The A cover comes with 5 different trading cards. One is a foil chase variant. We've got a lot of excitement hitting on November 5th. 27 different stores took 27 variants. Okay. There's going to be a whole lot of Youngblood representation coming up here in 3 weeks, and I intend to be right out at the fore, riding that horse, celebrating the return of Youngblood. As you know, 5 issues in, we will be at issue 99. And our legacy numbering on this first one is 95. Okay, so 96, 97, 98, 99. Boom. Issue 6, 100. We turn it over. Legacy numbering. Can't wait. A lot of big stuff planned. We are going to be talking to you about it, but you guys showed up big time. Your enthusiasm translated. Your stores came through. I cannot wait to share this, and we are going to have a really fun couple of weeks leading up to this. So I just wanted to thank you. Thank you. I'm back among my brethren. There are 30 Youngblood participation covers called Youngblood Team Up variants that are coming from big titles: Walking Dead, The Walking Dead Deluxe, Geiger, Redcoat, Hyde Street, and so many more. We're going to start naming them off very deliberately every episode. It is so exciting. Artists such as Ivan Rice, Gary Frank, Dave Finch, oh my gosh, Brian Hitch. All of these people have devoted incredible images of Youngblood alongside of their own creations. This leads me to the big, giant Image Comics dinner that took place on Saturday night. A great way to wrap up the show, a great way to put a bow on it. Joy and I were able to attend, and I made a bunch of new friends, and we talked comics for hours on hours. We didn't talk movies. We didn't talk television. We all make comics. We generate comic books. I got to meet Dennis Camp, he of the Ultimates, he of Absolute, he of Absolute, is it Absolute Martian Manhunter? And I'm just going to, you know what, when the memory fails, Rob, there's no excuse. Just go to social media. Dennis was, he's been thrilling all of us with his incredible talents. But what a personality. And I like people. I like people who have opinions. And Dennis, it's Deniz, if you look for it, Camp. 20th Century Men, right now, Assorted Crisis Events, Ultimates, Absolute Martian Manhunter. What a blast. Got to talk about the current state of Marvel, DC, Image, the independent world, past, present, future. Got to sit next to Kyle Higgins with his, is it the Massive Verse? Is that what they call it? With Radiant Black? I got to tell you, Radiant Black is one of the best designed new characters in the 21st century. He's up there with Invincible, I think, in terms of just a great design sense. The stories, Kyle's management, mastery of his storytelling and the stories that he is sharing with all of us through the Image Comics label is exciting. It was exciting to hear all the things that he had to say, all of the excitement that he had. These are not guys I talk to day to day on a regular basis. Dustin Wynn joined us. I think Crowbound is the new is the brand new series that he has coming out. Again, don't mess this up, Rob. Say it right. Say it going right now to check out and make sure that I have the most the most correct representation of Dustin's work. Dustin really was somebody everybody was talking about. Late spring, he came out swinging, very upset with some of the treatment that he had been receiving from Marvel Comics, and wasn't scared to talk about it. And that was really refreshing, because you don't really see a whole lot of people be as honest and frank as Dustin was being, and that was really was tremendously refreshing. Uh, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this, and that will show me Dustin is DUSS005 on Instagram. I mean, oh man, the guy has had so many crazy, incredible projects. But this, did I get it right? Did I get it right? Crowbound, Jeff Lemire, and Dustin to win. I can't wait. Those guys make some absolute beautiful music together, and I am excited to see them return to form. Everything they've ever collaborated on is extremely exciting, and this is coming out in March of 2026. So Dustin, Kyle Higgins, Dennis Camp, Robert Kirkman, they were all at my end of the table. James Tynan was there. Gary Dugan was there. Chris Condon was there. Everybody else I'm blanking on. I'm forgetting. But Eric Stevenson, publisher of Image Comics, there. Jim Viscardi, head of lots of stuff. And Jim did a great interview with me on Let's Talk Comics. You can listen to that into the lead up to Youngblood. Jim is a big time. He's going to say, Rob, why didn't you go and look at my credits? Why didn't you get me right? He's got a point. I'm going to get Jim Viscardi's. I'm going to get his credits right here. Everybody deserves to have their proper credits. So, Mr. Jim Viscardi, he just says he's currently at Image Comics. All right, he's a VP of Business Development. Boom, right there on the Hollywood Reporter, Jim Viscardi. Just an incredible night talking comic books, talking some of the stuff that's going on at both Marvel and DC. There were discussions up and down the table. Again, I wasn't part of each and every discussion, and there were people joining in, and I'm really embarrassed that I didn't get their names. But between Dennis and Dustin and Kyle, I was the one being entertained. I was thrilled to participate with these guys, because they are down in I mean, Kyle just as Radiant Black has launched and taken on greater importance, greater sales, greater popularity. He has left Marvel behind, but he talked about some of his recent interactions with them. And then, of course, Dennis is, making his mark all over the place. And oh man, I had such a great time. I can't spill all the tea, but there were definitely things that were eye-opening. Things that I had been wondering about were confirmed. Terminology and some of the battle plans put together by both companies were shared, and I was so just interested in absorbing all of it. But it was enthusiasm, creative minds, sharing of some pretty funny stories. I love hearing stories in the now, right now, stuff that's going on, and I heard those things. Robert Kirkman, of course, I don't know how anyone wouldn't agree that he is the most successful guy sitting at any table in the comic book industry. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again and again and again. He's the career you want to try and emulate. He is the most successful comic book creator of our age. You're like, wait, what? No, come on. Stan would have told you, I don't own Spider-Man. I can tell you that I participate in all manner of different exploitations of the characters that I created for Marvel Comics, but I don't own them. When it comes to Robert and the stuff that he's created, and the stuff that he is having the biggest success with, whether it's Invincible, Battle Beast, All Things Walking Dead, those provided him the means with which to get the Transformers license. They introduce you to the best version of the Energon universe that there's ever been, one that is connecting on a visceral level with people. Robert, with his television shows, his productions, his media companies, the guy is killing it, and he has remained as fun and enthusiastic and as invested in making comic books in the same way that we all make comic books. I'm just so happy for him and his success, and I am absolutely convinced he is a giant uh, motivation and inspiration for guys like Dennis and Kyle and Dustin and everybody else. I look at James Tynan and all his incredible success, and I think Robert is kind of the standard that he is looking to model himself after. So great dinner, big laughs, lots of ideas, lots of concepts, but at the end of the day, tremendous enthusiasm. I will say something that is out there. The one thing I can tell you is that the no one seems to understand it. No one seems to understand. We understand it in that it has been expressed, and we will read the public reasoning of it. But the ending of the Ultimate Universe, which seems to be very successful, Chris Condon, Ultimate Wolverine, was just a few seats down for me, and I got Dennis right here with Ultimates right across from me. So we have people who did the Ultimate Universe, and whether it was Jim Viscardi, Robert Kirkman, myself, Kyle, Dustin, Dennis, and if you're wondering what Joy Liefeld thought, she didn't give a shit. She was just having a fun time. She sat next to Kat and Lorelei from Image Comics, and they had their own, like I said, whether it's comic book wives or comic book, the women of comic, because they consolidate, because they know they're smarter than all of us, and and they I think it entertains us when we all kind of go up to our little treehouse or little sandlots, our comic book sandlots, the men of comics, and start kicking around sand and playing with all our little toys, because I do believe that they understand very quietly that they are above it, and it's fun to watch the little boys play. So Joy was entertaining herself with the ladies of Image there, and in the meantime, we all, Eric Stevenson, we all were just kind of, well, why do you really think the Ultimates line is going away? Because it seems to have been very successful for them. One of the standout things, as I say, Marvel doesn't have a true identity in the last couple of years and is failing to generate a whole lot of excitement. The one area, it was being overshadowed tremendously by Absolute, but the one area that Marvel was having some success with was with these Ultimate books: Ultimate Black Panther, Ultimate Wolverine, Ultimate Spider-Man, the Ultimates. And they're completely shutting it down. They want everybody to know that that's over, and they're going to be introducing something else. So anytime something is working and it's yanked in what is viewed as prematurely, as this is viewed as being yanked prematurely, we all like being yanked prematurely. Is that correct? When the yanking of something prematurely occurs, it always causes people to scratch their heads. What's going on? What's the other motivation? That was certainly a hot topic for a good 30, 40 minutes. Anything more than that, I cannot divulge, because that's why we go to these secret dinners and we talk secretly. But man, did I enjoy getting to hang around other creators that I did not know, and am rooting for, and hope that they have tremendous success and will enjoy watching them. You guys, right? Like, remember, I got hired 18 years old, 41 years. I'm entering into my 41st business year in the comic book business. It's not just my vocation. It's been my lifestyle. It's been my entire life. And I have seen all manner of different people come and different people go. And many people have great intentions, but they either don't have the discipline, the talent, or the combination of discipline and talent to pull it all off. So when I see some of these guys who are more veteran, and there's nothing more kind of, like I said, ballsy than being able to do your own your own products. When you're able to do your own comic, when you're able to produce your own universe, as Kyle Higgins has with this massive verse and Radiant Black, that just garners another level to me of respect. Just, it does. And with Dennis Camp, with 20th Century Men, and with assorted crisis events, this guy is self-publishing. He's just doing it with Image distributing. But he is writing the stories, hiring the artist, partnering with the artist, getting it lettered. You deliver a product to Image, they distribute it for you. You can ride their distribution bandwidth, which is significant, and their promotional bandwidth. So anytime that I am gathered with other people making comic books outside of Marvel Comics and DC Comics, that is the path that I traveled, the path that Todd traveled, the path that Jim traveled even briefly. And it's one that kind of gets me going. It gets my juices going. So it was exciting to sit with all those people, have all that energy. And it was the perfect way to end the weekend, as the next day we had to get out of town earlier than we expected. But it allowed me to get home and do a podcast that day, which I did not anticipate. And whether it was hanging with Todd, having signature competitions with Todd, whether it was meeting all of you who I was able to meet and enjoy, whether it was talking to Robert Kirkman or Dennis Camp or Kyle Higgins or Jim Biscardi or Eric Stevenson or Dustin Wynn, whether it was hanging with Gary V at his kind of brain trust groupthink session, J. Scott Campbell, Jim Rugg, all the great people at CGC, Brittany, Josh, Harshen, all of the great people that I was able to interact with. I'm just trying to go through, of course, Mr. Jim Steranko, the incredible Chris Claremont, steal a few moments with one Joseph Loeb, with Sam De La Rosa. I just New York Comic Con was kind of an incredible blur. And some observations I made from the previous show: auctions really look like some of the most robust ways to expand your collection and to get pieces that maybe you're not finding from the dealers. Some of the biggest dealers really, and look, it's their collections. They're just sharing it with us. But it's going on decades that they have had some of the same pages. And for whatever reason, I don't know that the interest in those pages will ever come to fruition, which is why they always need to be sharing new stuff. And they'll say, "Oh, I want to show that I have new pages." And what's going on is they are now competing with the most robust auction system that we have ever seen. And Heritage is just leading the pack. There's obviously other very successful auctions that are out there. But so much of what I observed and really bought, I expected that there would be more, and I definitely went with an eye to buy. I'm so happy that I got my Michael Jackson, my Michael Golden Avengers page, my Long Shot Art Adams page, my Adam Kubert Superman Lex Luthor pages. But the auctions are where people are sending. I had a dealer who I did work with. I bought probably 20 pages from over 10 decades. 2 years ago, he got out completely, and he gave his entire hundreds. And I'm talking. You've got Frank Frazetta stuff in there. Byrne writes in Neil Adams, John Byrne, George Perez, Jim Starlin. He had an incredible collection. He has given it all to Heritage to sell over the next couple of years. So that's a dealer that you don't see displaying anywhere anymore. He's gone. He's completely removed himself. So the auction houses have become the premier place to find, I think, some of the gems, the treasures, because the dealers are now competing directly with the auction houses. Now, I'm going to be selling all of my Youngblood number one artwork through Panel Page Art with Glenn, who runs and owns Panel Page Art, and I'm really going to be excited to do that. We'll be talking about that more here soon. It'll be a day one drop, so November 5th, we will drop the pages, the covers, the splashes, all the stuff that you've expressed interest in, and it'll be fun. So dealers are still out there in a big way now, and I'm really speaking of the stuff from not modern, but my stuff that will be offered with Glenn will be modern and fits into that model. But the Bronze era, the Silver Age era, even stuff from the 2000s now, some of that bright stuff, so much of it is going to the auction houses. Now, there are some very aggressive dealers who are wisely not allowing for their, and that's something else I learned, they don't want their clients to put their stuff into the private sector because they are making the rules in they don't want it to go to the auction sector. They don't want it to go for auction because the auction prices on some of the stuff hasn't come back as strong as the stuff that they are selling in the private sector. So as long as they can control the pricing and the results in the private sector, they're not allowing them to go to the auctions, because when they go to the auctions, the prices are sometimes 50% less or greater than the stuff that they're putting out there. And look, they're doing their jobs. They are dealing in the most severe condition of FOMO that they can possibly create, and they're doing a very good job. It's fun to watch, and the upside of what they're doing is they're bringing, I think, a lot of new young art dealers art collectors into the hobby. They are creating demand and excitement because when they zhuzh up and get that FOMO going on one piece and somebody doesn't get it, well, they go looking for more stuff. Or once they get it, they want to add to it. So this folds back into how healthy I think the entire business is right now. Original art, comics, collectibles. Gary Vee isn't coming into our business because we're suffering. He sees an opening. New York Comic Con was a blast. It was such a blast to share it with you. I told you I was going to read those names. I'm going to read those names right now. So I have a live stream that I do on Whatnot. And if you follow me, Rob Liefeld, you'll be alerted when I go live on Whatnot. And we have a great community that we've built up. So many great people that we've been able to meet. And it really is the best way that I could describe it is it really is a community of people who really have a passion for comic books, for characters, for a certain age. I'm fortunate enough that they have a passion for me. But through the Whatnot community, through the live stream community, occasionally I see these people pop up on eBay, but it really is Whatnot. If you follow me on Whatnot, we have 5 stars. We have over, I think we've done 23,000 items in 3 years. And let me look at my profile right now so I get that right. Don't leave anything to chance. We have a 5-star rating. We have a 1-day average shipping. We have sold 22,600 units, and we have 5,500 reviews. That 5-star is earned by those reviews. We have earned our position. We are extremely reliable. We bring to the show, to the live streams, we bring rare items like this lunar variant, of which I have very few left because they were given to retailers. You can't get this anywhere other than having someone like myself give my allotment. It was one per retailer who attended the talk that we gave. One per retailer. This is what we call the lunar retail variant. This was my VIP variant. We have a handful of these left. This is the kind of stuff you can't get anywhere else but on my live stream if you don't show up for the show. This was our New York Comic Con. This was our dedicated New York Comic Con exclusive. There's all manner of other stuff. There's a brand new She comic I did. I did a cover for a book called Do You Poo? Just check it out. You'll find out and understand what that means. We've got some special Deadpool Batman variants that you haven't seen yet that we're going to be offering. That's the kind of stuff that we give exclusively. We want to make the experience really a unique one, and one that has stuff that for by and large is only available by interacting with us. But and here's the upside. Along the way, you make great friends. The live streams, you're talking to me the entire time. Sometimes maybe too much. Sometimes to the point where it distracts me. It's like this live stream. I mean, it's like this podcast. If you were talking back to me the whole time, maybe one day we'll dare and try and pull that off here. But I'm going to share with you all the names that introduce me. They introduce themselves to me. Ray Bikini. He knows who he is. Ray Bikini. Scoop Flow. Destiny FOMO. Jay Crandall. Murphy Alderman. Stockbroker Bill. And his son Win. Great kid. Great. Oh, you're all just the best. Freedom Music. Da, 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 boop, boop. I always sing the Wham! Freedom song when he comes on the live stream. Scoop Flow also has his own song. I'm not going to sing it right now. Rob Markman, Null IQ, Infinity Thanos, Wiz of Mohan, Acid Byrne, love meeting that guy. Funko Pool, Key Comics LLC, Rob Messick. Those are about 20 or so guys, men, women. Destiny FOMO. We had both men and women dropping by, saying hi, sharing I love putting a face now, so I will know what Ray Bikini looks like. I will know Freedom Music. Oh, and Blade Runner. We completely, Blade Runner came by. Did I say him? Oh, no, I did. I said him. Blade Runner. Some of these guys, they're police officers, like Blade Runner, who's going into retirement. Thank you for your service. Thanks for all you do. You put your life on I have policemen friends. They are risking their lives each and every day being out in the field. I sit at a desk, comfy and cozy. So thank you. Joy and I, at the subways, when we see police officers in New York City, and this has been, we don't see them out and about as intimately, available. But I always go, hey guys, I just want to thank you for the work you do. They always kind of look at us funny. Who are these people thanking us? I'm not sure they're used to it. But anyway, you're in the military, you've served. If you're somebody, a fireman, emergency, a responder. We just want to thank you. You guys really are out there affecting the world in maybe the most important possible way you can. And so it's an honor. So many of you. I've met lawyers. You think Stockbroker Bill doesn't kind of move money around? No, Stockbroker Bill is stockbroker. Okay. So it's great to meet you guys. Put your faces together. So fun. Such a great show. Such a fun experience. Check us out on Whatnot. Be part of our community. Thank you again. Wherever you listen: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podbean, our YouTube. The video components on Spotify or YouTube. We just thank you so much for interacting. I want to talk to you about all the cool stuff. Check out my Instagram where you'll see me inked John Byrne Angel as part of the jam piece. You'll see all of it. It's really fun. I just have such a great time talking to you guys. Gary V, honor to hang with you. Everybody at the Image Dinner. I just had such a fun time. I left New York with a big, giant heart of love and satisfaction and more passionate and excited about all that is coming in the world of comic books than I have at any other time. This was a great jolt of lightning, a great inspiration, and I just wanted to share it with all of you, and I hope you enjoyed it. We'll get back to our regularly scheduled history of comics and events and stuff that's going on in our next few episodes as we wrap it up. We won't be here long. Before we get to Thanksgiving, we're signing off for the year. We took a break before the New York Comic Con, before that show, and we took a break, and we're going to take an extended 2-month break to end the year before we come back. And so we are definitely in the last 5 or 6 shows in that range, 6, 7 shows. If it's 2 a week, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm thinking 7 or 8 shows left for this year. Thank you so much. When I'm not telling you where I am on Instagram, as I already did with Rob Liefeld, Blue Check that out tomorrow as I shared the angel that I inked at New York Comic Con on this big giant scrolling page. It was much more difficult to video than we anticipated. And we kind of anticipated it being difficult. Whether it's my Whatnot, Rob Liefeld, or on X, I am at Robert Liefeld, RobertLiefeld. Check me out. Blue Check tells you it's really me. I am the real deal. I am legit reading your responses, your messages, your DMs, your comments. Thank you so much for hanging out with me over on X and all the interaction that we have and the different comments and the yesterday when Drew Struzan passed, there was comments. There was in real time people. We were all talking. It was uplifting. It was heartwarming as one of our favorites had left. Instagram, same. Rob Liefeld, blue check mark. Facebook, we have a group. It's called Marvel Extreme and Beyond. We would love for you to join it with Facebook group. Rob Liefeld, Marvel Extreme and Beyond. Either myself or a gentleman named Terry Sala, we're the administrators. SALA is his name. We will click you on through. We have a great, fun community that discusses the business of comics, the art of comics, the history of comics. Each and every episode of this show gets a dedicated post for you to comment on, parse, discuss, share whatever your thoughts and feelings are. Each episode gets its own dedicated post. We have great artists doing great art. We have regular art contests. It's just a feel-good place. Come grab a seat in the giant virtual living room that this group is. Just don't spill your beer on my carpet. Don't put your cigarettes out on the floor, please. That's all I ask. But Rob Liefeld, Marvel Extreme and Beyond. On Facebook, it's a group. We will look for you. On TikTok, we revived my very dormant account, Rob Liefeld, on TikTok. That's really me. And I would love to have to see you over there on TikTok. So we've covered X, at Robert Liefeld, Instagram, Rob Liefeld, Rob Liefeld on TikTok, Rob Liefeld, Marvel Extreme and Beyond on Facebook, Rob Liefeld on Whatnot. I don't know if there's anything left. I've got a CGC signature series right now that you need to be submitting. If you're waiting for your Youngblood books or the second round of Batman Deadpool, which the second round of the DC book is called Batman Deadpool, or you've got your Deadpool Batmans, or you've got your Youngblood #1, your X-Force #1, your Avengely #1, get those ready, get those sent in, go to the CGC website, pull down the menu, look at the pricing and the options for the Rob Liefeld Signature Series. We will be handling that between November and December. I think the deadline is late November, so there's plenty of time to get all of the last items of the year, whether it's Youngblood #1 or Batman Deadpool, all the books that I have coming out that I'm associated with. My name was in every issue, as it should be, as the creator of Deadpool, in Deadpool Batman. Get on it, send it in. I will look forward to seeing it. You guys, life's crazy. The burdens sometimes are just heavier than the day before and the day before that. We are all carrying stuff. and we are all dealing with family matters, with health, with business, with a crazy market, a world that it seems to be screaming at us every day. Come here, and I will hopefully entertain you with tales of comic books and art and pop culture. I just want to give you the distraction that I also crave, because I listen to podcasts and I look to be distracted, and I look to kind of step away from the chaos. It is very much deliberate chaos that is being rained down on us every day, more so than at any time, and certainly more so than when I started the show in 2020. Kind of out of the complete depression that I was feeling in the pandemic. You guys and the comments that you share with me about the podcast have been so uplifting to me over these last 5.5 years. So I hope I can return the favor. But just know, in between, I've met so many of you, so many thousands of you now, across all these different shows over the last 5.5 years, all these different store appearances. I am just thrilled to know you. I am thrilled to root for you. Take a break. Don't let the grind get the best of you. Don't let it wear you down. Step off that incredibly burdensome, treadmill of life. Step away. Grab some time. Go to the diner. Grab coffee. Go to that nice restaurant with your loved ones, with your wife, with your daughter, with your sons, with your kids. Spend time with your friends. Go see a great movie. Go see it on IMAX. Go get the best possible experience. Roll up with that stack of comic books you brought back from the comic book store. Catch up. Read a great novel. Go cook some food. That's something I've never mentioned before, but it is definitely a way that people express their joy and their pleasure. Take time for you. You need it. Reset. Don't let the world get the best of you. Reset. And we are just rooting that your mental, your physical, your emotional, and your spiritual self are exactly where you need them to be. And we hope that you find your way there. Rooting for you. 2 booms into this Blue Yeti mic. Rooting for you at all times. Lifting you up. Take care of yourself. I'm going to be right back here. I'll be back here. Let's call it the last 8. We're going to do it. We're going to have fun. Don't leave me alone. Do not forget to grab me. We will most definitely, absolutely, we will inevitably talk again real soon.